camera. Hopefully that worked. Good morning, everyone. Good Monday morning. Oh my gosh, that coffee tastes good this morning. Must have needed it. Good morning, Mary and Leanne, Carol, Lynette, Sylvia, Carol Ann. Thanks. I hope y'all... Let me turn that stupid thing off. How silly of me. She's back. Sorry, guys. That is our loudest air conditioner. Good morning, Francis, Brenda, Tequila. Good morning, beautiful. I hope you are doing well. Lynette, I will get you my number. I caught up on some of my messages and things this morning. I had a fairly busy weekend. Good morning, Shannon. How are you? And Susan. Hey, Sandy. Hi, Brenda Housley. How are you today? Charlene. Cindy. If I don't... Good morning, Thana. Did I see Jimmy and Scotty? Well, good morning, boys. Hey, Retta. Loretta was here helping me out this weekend. We accomplished a lot. So if you have left me a message or a messenger, I'll try to get to those today. If I do not, I will definitely get them to them tomorrow. Today I already have a fairly long list. Please do, Tequila. I'd appreciate that. Hello, my blessing. How are you, Miss Jean? Hey, Brian. Good to see you this morning, buddy. Hi, Elizabeth. Betty Ann. Good morning. So, I was going to do Coffee with Dre from inside because it's been so miserably hot. And we have the Attack of the Flies. Amityville Horror is starting to come to mind. Just kidding. But I stepped outside on the porch and I thought, wow, there's a nice cool breeze. So let's go ahead and keep it here. Aw, thanks, Bobby. Lots of love. I don't need the sunshine. It has been something, I'll tell you. I know everybody seems to be having issues with heat right now. I'm doing good, Brian. I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, but not from lack of sleep. It's just from going to the storage. Going to the storage in 102-degree heat. Loretta and I were like, yeah, we're going to do this early in the morning from now on. I know, Francis, it's crazy. But it's a pretty morning this morning, so thank God. Hi, Barbara Davis Wilkins. How are you? And Tweety Tom. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all, I'm gonna let y'all say good morning to each other. I had the opportunity to visit with Deanna last night. That was not Deanna. That was nice. Although she does, you know, give me a little butt kicker session. Today, I think we're going to talk a little bit about moving mountains. What? Why? Why? And about not, in the process of moving mountains, don't give up on your dreams. Wow, what's with the ums this morning? Hey, Carrie. Hey, Fredna, how are you? Good morning, Erica. Neighbor. First of all, I am going to ask every one of you to say prayers for a good friend of mine. Her husband, and 3 or 4 other members of her family tested positive for the COVID. And they're not feeling great. It's bad. It's not just the emotional part. Physically, several of them are having trouble getting out of bed. Some of them are having massive migraines. So if you would please just say a prayer, you know, or send positive vibes out into the universe for my friend and her family, I would appreciate it. She does not want her name out there. I understand that. And just, God will know who you mean. Thank you. Thank you, Dana. Wait a minute. What Loretta need prayers for this morning? Did I miss that? Good morning, Jan Cook. How are you? And there are some mountains out there to move. Yes, there are, Miss Deanna. Absolutely. Yes, so I'm going to use her as a quick example. They didn't go out and do the things they shouldn't. They wear their masks, they use sanitizer, etc. They had a family barbecue. No one had symptoms. Everything, this is right before the shutdown here in Texas. And one person had been exposed at work unbeknownst to them. And that's where, you know, that's where it comes from. Good morning, Huff. How are you? Oh, absolutely, Francis. Let me write that down. If you guys, throughout our coffee, if you have a need for prayers for yourself or others, please. Okay. Please do not forget to let us know so we can add you and be more specific. Not that we don't all, I mean, at church yesterday, you know, we prayed, and we didn't necessarily have names for everyone. But again, if you are a believer in the power of prayer, you know that God knows who we're talking about. So there you go. Geez, Loretta, what did I miss? That's upsetting. Just a second. I'm scooting back real quick. She was just here yesterday. You would think I would know. Oh yes. Prayers. That's awful. Good morning, Josie. And Michelle for her oldest grandson. Okay. Done. Oh, that's awful, Francis, isn't it? That they have to be alone. Yeah, that breaks my heart. I can't imagine what that feels like to be alone in the hospital with things that are, oh, it's awful. Amen, Bobby. Good morning, Lori. Don't let the fear do that, Brian. That's where your power comes in. It's so easy to get lost in that fear, I'll tell you, because I was struggling with that the other day, and I thought, oh my gosh, it makes you afraid for everyone. It makes you afraid to go anywhere or do anything. And it mostly, for me, it makes me afraid for the people that, one, have no choice but to be out there dealing with people all day long. And those that don't understand the importance of following protocol, whatever your state is telling you. It does, Brian, it does. And it gets so overwhelming. I don't know. It hurts the heart. It really, really does. But let's see if we can somehow conquer that feeling of fear today. Good morning, Shauna and Carol Ann. Good morning. Good morning. And Thana, girl, you're always in my prayers. And another one in our little community that could use prayers is Joyce Ballou. She is in rehab after some surgery, and she could certainly use prayers as well. Yes, Cindy, her nephew. I think I have that on my prayer list. I've got to go through my prayer list and redo a new one. Some of us have had our prayers answered, so that's a wonderful thing. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, and maybe we'll start, before we talk about the mountains, let's talk about problems that we have that we let overtake us. Good morning, Leah Mack. How are you, beautiful? Thank you, Mary. That is so sweet. What are we putting in here that is not allowing us to deal with a problem or an issue or whatever? It goes to thinking, realigning our thinking. Pray for the Gonzalez family. Aww. Their house burned down. Sometimes we have to just realign our thinking, which sounds both simple and not, right? But sometimes we get to thinking about right now in particular, we're thinking about all the things we can't do, the places we can't go, the things we can't see, the friends we can't hug, etc. So what we have to do is clean our mind. I hope that makes sense. Good morning, Debbie. How are you? Good morning, Karen. How do you do that? Now, we've talked a lot about always putting the positivity in versus focusing on the negatives. One of the ways that's helped me as far as what's going on out there and not being so overcome with fear that I feel paralyzed is to turn off all the non-necessary BS. The Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, Google even. Don't Google anything you don't want to know. The television, news in particular, the newspaper articles, the magazine articles, talking to people that I know are going to bring me down about things because their focus is on that, the negative, that is. So first of all, you have to get that stuff out of the way. All of that obviously is toxic for you because you're having a hard time dealing with the fear. And I do want to say there are a lot of really, really wonderful things going on out there in this world. Yes, in the midst of all this craziness. Y'all, I'm trying to get to a little bit of notes that I wrote this morning. There is good. There are happy stories. There are people that have conquered this illness that they didn't expect to conquer it. So maybe focus, find if you're going to worry about these things, let's remember to add the salt. Salt is a flavoring. It enhances. So search for that. Search for the things that are going to enhance your day instead of those things that bring us down. And unfortunately, right now, I know so many people are so stressed out about things in general, and their emotions are running high, and they're saying and doing things they might not normally do. And that is not conducive to feeling better about things. Good morning, Deanne. Good morning, my little cupcake. What? Oh, Josie, I'm so sorry to hear that. Lauren's 15, right, Lori? People don't know about me. I was raised in Southern Louisiana, as you know. I actually was a little bit on the popular side at school, in high school. I was in sports and editor of my paper, that kind of thing, when we lived there. Then my parents decided to move us to Texas. First of all, the culture shock was crazy. But I was 15. We moved in November, December of that year. And I did turn 16 the following April. At first, and the school I went to was like 3 or 4 or 5 times maybe bigger than the school I came from. And the very first day, now I didn't have the most encouraging household about starting over. It was just like, get your butt out there and get it done, right? I was very blessed in my very first class to have said hello to the right person. And so all day long, when I saw her, I could say hi, and we did eventually develop a friendship, but it gave me a little bit of comfort having somebody to say hi to. And eventually, I acclimated very well, and Lauren will too. It'll take her some time, bless her heart. Good morning, Dawn. Okay. Good morning, Susan. So, let me find this one note that I wrote, this one note that I wrote, and I thought, wow, isn't that brilliant? It couldn't have come straight up from my brain. The thing about moving mountains, though, is you cannot move the mountain all at one time. By mountain, I mean things that are getting in your way. Things that you have control of, as well as those that you do not have control of. Like, very few of us have any control over what's going on outside right now, correct? So we need to remember that. It is outside of our control. What we can control is that we follow the correct protocol. Whatever those are in the state of Texas, you must wear a mask no matter where you are or who you're with, or else it's a $250 fine. No jail time, just a fine. I don't want a fine, for one, but more importantly, I think people, honestly and truly, it can't sink in how very, very serious things are right now. We can't change them. We can't make them see. Sometimes they're going to have to see by people around them. Right, Lori? It is about that climb. And it's one tiny little baby step at a time as well. And you know what? Once you get to the top of this mountain, careful, because the way you got up can affect the way you come down. You once you're there, you want to hang there for a while, right? You want to stay on top of all the things. You want the ickies behind you. Do you know how quick it is to come down a mountain? It's a heck of a lot quicker than going up. So be careful. Watch your step. By that I mean keep your power. I know it's so easy to get your feelings hurt right now. I get my feelings hurt. I just don't focus on it because I get more joy from people than hurt feelings. And we should always try to remember that we don't know their story. We don't know why they're so grumpy right now. We can assume, but we don't know. And so maybe we should just give each other a little grace as we are trying to conquer our own mountains. And sometimes those mountains are things that we put there. Detour around that crap. Don't allow what's going on to defeat you. Don't, because it can, and it doesn't need to. Remember, this too shall pass. What's going on is not a forever thing. So don't allow it. Yes, that's right. Allow it to defeat you. You as a human being, you as a business person, you as a wife, friend, mother, cousin, whatever you have in your life. Don't allow it to defeat that. Don't. That's a choice you're making. I'm a big believer in choice, as you know. Lord knows I've made, oh my God, and I continue to. I've made some really poor choices. But I try not to focus on them. It's difficult not to look back. Right now with the writing of the book, oh my gosh. It's like, why did I choose that? Well, we choose what we choose based on what we know and what we feel at the time. But we need to be careful that we choose to surround ourselves with good things, good people, get the toxicity out of your life. Because if you're running on toxins, it's unhealthy, right? Just like our bodies, if we put a bunch of toxins in, it's not healthy. Same thing with our life. Don't allow toxic things, not just talking about people, toxic news, toxic posts, whatever it is, don't allow that to get in there and permeate your whole life. It's not going to help you. It's difficult when commenting, texting, messaging to know how the other person meant it. Absolutely. You aren't with them to see their face, eyes, hair, voice, etc. The downside of being with people we communicate so often. Yes, Brenda. Poor choices definitely are life lessons. Some I wanted to learn, some I didn't want to learn. But we all have the power of choice. And I think sometimes we forget that. We just go along with the crowd or go along with what others are feeling, thinking, saying, forgetting that we have our own voice and we can use that to be positive. I love that saying, Carrie. How do you eat an elephant? Well, I don't eat them, but one bite at a time. Exactly. And that's how you make it through the mountain or over the mountain, is one tiny baby step at a time, if that's all you can do. And you know what? While you're on that climb, you can stop and take a breath. You can stop and give yourself a little grace. Crafters Creative Group is my new TV channel. Aw, that's great. It is. It's great, isn't it? And even if bad things do happen, don't let them control you. I've seen again and heard again, and a lot of things, lives and posts have been shared to me, which I'm fine with. I appreciate that your efforts to keep me informed, knowing that I'm kind of like, you know, on a diet of Facebook and things. But it's still happening. People are still being rude to one another. Look, if you're rude to me, I'm going to give you grace during these terrible times. And like Francis said, very often the person on the other side isn't trying to be rude or hateful or negative. Very often, they just are at the same place as you. You know, tensions, emotions. Oh, another new calf. Wow, what a cutie. Sorry. Lori, that's the best question I have had, and I can't tell you how long. That's a great question. I'm going to have to really pray about that and see if I get some answers. I don't know. You know, honestly, I hope I never stop climbing that mountain. Even once you're at the top, you got to do things once you're there to keep from the tumble, right? And that is where your humanity, I really believe, comes into play. We forget about, I guess that's what's made me sad. The lack of humanity out there right now. Remember, there are more good people than not good people. It's the not good people or the not good comments or the not... I don't want to say, because then it sounds like I might be talking ugly. It's the not good things that are going on that are sensationalized and put on television or put in posts or lives or whatever. We can change that. How? By putting out the good stuff. I want to hear. I've said before COVID ever hit the scenes, I've said so many times, can they not give us some good news every once in a while? You know, every news channel should have a moment every day on every news feature. They should have something positive. Really. I bet you are, Lori. I'll tell you what, though. You're a hell of a climber. That's Lynette. I have a number of people in my life that are going through that, where it's their significant other, shall we say, that are the negative Nelly. You know, they probably were a negative Nelly before the virus. It's just a little more pronounced right now. All you can do is just be you. Don't talk about the virus. Don't, with them. And just tell them I can't. I can't hear it. Really, Susan? They're hacking the pages? I did not know that. Oh, why don't these hackers use those impressive minds to do good things? You know, Jesse always tells me when I'm not at my best, which happens a lot. Just live your best life, Mom. Live your best life. And you know what? The key words in there are, first of all, live, of course. Best. She doesn't say live your life. She says live your best life. And she has said that forever. And if you think about it, we get to choose that too, don't we? We get to pick what in our lives is the best. And that's the part we should be focusing on and living. So is the best part of your day getting in your craft room and creating? Do more of that. Is the best part of your day when you can sit down at the end of the day with an adult beverage or water if you're so inclined, or coffee, and just relaxing? Is the best part of your day early in the morning when the birds are tweeting, or the roosters are crowing, which he starts that at 3 a.m. Y'all should know. What is that best for you? That's what you need to focus on. Hey, Levon! Yay! I'm so glad you're here. So, are you moving the mountains in your life by climbing over them or detouring around them? I think sometimes it's both ways that we have to do that. Oh, Kelly, that is so sweet. I'm glad. And it's not me. Remember that. It's you. I just say the words. You do the work. And that's what you need to remember. I see a lot of crafters that are really down on themselves right now. Y'all stop it. Don't listen to that thing. You know, Damon has a podcast. I think it's his first one, about the imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome is that part of you that doesn't allow you to feel good about you. That part that brings those doubts forward. Let me say this. Do not listen to the negative people who have stopped dreaming, who have not been successful, who continue to say tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Y'all, don't. What if tomorrow doesn't come? You didn't get to live any of your dream? That would be so sad, wouldn't it? Also, if you want a different outcome, take a different path. Maybe the path you're on isn't the path for you. I mean, I'm fairly certain Lori, with all her college work and her corporate background of sorts, I don't know if you call what she did corporate, but anyway, let's call it corporate. I'm sure she never thought that she would be the inventor of such an amazing product as the UITC board. I'm sure she never thought, when she did create it, that it would literally change her and her family's lives. You have to leave yourself open to succeed. If you're giving somebody that power, the person who gave up, don't let those people who give up stop you. Don't listen. Yes, it is our anniversary next week. My mosaic girl. See, Lori, I know. And sometimes the best part of the day is that silly little bit of alone time that doesn't make sense to anybody else. But that sounds like a great kind of me time. Yes, Dan, give yourself grace. Good morning, Wendy. And it is more difficult when it's people close to you that are discouraging, and that, oh, the other night I listened to someone that I know talk about this is all BS, the virus is BS, everything is BS, but I'm going to wear my mask anyway. Funny, right? You know, just let them talk. In my mind was like, people are dying. People are at home very, very ill. In hospitals alone, very, very ill. The virus is real. It's not BS. Hey, Arthur, how are you? Yes, exactly. That's right, Brenda, she did. Brenda, I'm glad you brought that up. Look, if you're in one of them, I'm going to use me as an example because I really work hard at no negativity. But that doesn't mean it doesn't come in. If you're in a live and it is upsetting you, whatever way it is that you're upset, let me get a sip of coffee. I promise not to get on a big old soapbox moment here. However, Brenda brought it up. Y'all thank Brenda Housley for this. No, really, Brenda, thank you. Leave. Leave the lie. You are not chained to that lie. If you don't like what's being said, if it's hurting or harming you in any way, if the comments that you're seeing are more negative than positive, get the heck out. Just get out. Go find a positive one. Or just get out of Facebook altogether at that moment. Don't allow people to bring you down that way. Even if the comments and the live, etc., are truths. I'm not talking about people not saying truthful things. But if that live is bringing you down, get out. What is that anagram? GTFO? And get out of that prison you put yourself in. Really? You're putting yourself there. Get out. Like Brenda said. Just go. It's easier than it is to allow somebody to crush you. And that's what happens. I know, Brenda Owens. That's how I feel. I go into lives. Well, right now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've told you all this about a month ago. I always, my one me time of the week where people have to leave me alone, they can't interrupt that me time, is on Sunday evenings for a couple of hours. I go in and I support Bobby and her lives and enjoy her family. I'll watch Jim and his live, or if Jim or Bobby are running late or not on whatever, I'll put another live in there. Other than that, most lives I get on replay when I have time, when I'm in line at the bank or whatever, when I'm sitting out here with time on my hand, which I don't know where that came from. Made a big craft room, ordered signs, mesh ribbon forms to make wreaths, have sat here for days doing nothing. Have sold wreaths and have orders, just can't seem to get with it. I'm 78 and love making wreaths. Just don't know what happened. Give yourself some grace, first of all. Let me just first say that, Barbara. And I had no idea you were 78 years old. You are rocking it. However, give yourself grace. We all, every single one of us, even Lori, even Monkey, people that can just seem like they can roll all that beautiful craftiness out. I get it. I went through several weeks where it was torturous to do a live making something because I could not find that go juice, I just couldn't find that place where creating was fun again. And I think it's because I let all the stuff going on just bring me down to a point where I couldn't find that happy Dre, which is funny because being in the craft room and creating makes me happy. But I had to, that was one of those times, y'all, were time period where I had to every day really, really search for that joy in me. I really had to like beg it. Come on now, come on. And it's just, it happens to us all. And it happens even when we don't have these things going on out there in the world. It just happens. So give yourself some grace, Barbara. It will come. And you know, go in there, and if you don't want to do Facebook, go on YouTube, which I don't really have a presence on, so this is not a marketing tool for me. But go on YouTube and find some things that you really, really enjoy. Maybe it's something new you want to learn. You don't have to deal with anything but the person. You don't have to go scroll down there and read the past comments or anything. So maybe that will help inspire you. Go, if you're wanting to make a fall wreath, go in there and look for fall wreath. That kind of thing. Try to find, well, Bumblebee's back. Yay. Keep an open heart for yourself, too. Sometimes it just takes time. We have to release the music in us. I need that shirt. Jesse, if you're watching or listening, I need the shirt that says, release the music in you. Because music makes pretty much everyone happy. It gets us moving. It gets us singing. And so maybe we need to release the music that's in us, right? Well, my comments just decided to hang in. I do too, Laura. I know you said this a couple minutes ago, but I don't like the haters at all. Lavon, that was beautifully said. See, I'm just catching up. I didn't realize my comments weren't scrolling. Debbie Willis, I'm petrified to do a live. I can't bring myself to do one. I love making wreaths and they turn out beautiful. People are buying them, but I just can't do it. Well, guess what, Debbie? You don't have to. There's not a rule. There is not a rule that says you must do a live. Everyone isn't comfortable in front of the camera, so to speak. So, stop worrying about doing a live because I don't want you to be worried about anything. Just create. If you love making your wreaths and your wreaths are selling, yay! Keep making them. Be happy. One day, if being alive is that important to you, doing a live, one day you'll go, I think I'll do a live. That's when you'll be ready. But don't worry about it. You're doing what you do and you're being successful at it. Yay for you. Yes, Frida, ain't that the truth? We can get burned out. Francis, that is beautiful. Barbara Rita, Francis Downs' comment to you. It's very well said. Well, I guess I could read it. Barbara, I have been there only just recently. Rest your mind and your creativity from others. It will come back to you. And please don't compare or compete with anyone. You be you and design the way you want. You be you. Beautifully said. Pat, I love that. Your inspiration got lost. Take a step back. Put the first foot in front of the other again. Wow, y'all are doing... Mary, encourage them to be safe. That would worry me too. By Saturday, they would show any... Especially in Florida. Yes, Janet, that's a great idea. I agree about the jealousy, Laura. Good morning, Denise. Both Denises. Denise Stafford and Denise Pugliese. Okay. So, we know that moving that mountain that is in front of us, sometimes we have placed it there, sometimes not. We have a choice. We can let it stop us. We can come up against it and just go, okay, I'm done. We can climb over it, or we can detour around it if need be. Now, there is the mountain of success that you climb. It's one little step at a time, and eventually, right? But I'm talking about right now, I'm talking about the mountains, the molehills that become mountains because we allow it, that get in our way and completely can stop us. We need to stop that and step back, assess. Is this a problem I've created for myself? Is this a problem? The wind is doing that. It's going to make me nuts. The breeze, not the wind. Is this a problem I can conquer? Right? Is today Ashley's birthday? Or, yeah, well, that's a little tough. Create a tunnel and drive right through. That's one shovel at a time. That might take me a little more time than I want, but that's an option. Remember, you know, I talk about choosing joy so often. Barbara, we didn't take it as negative. We did not. So don't you worry. And maybe you were directed to say that because someone else was feeling what you wrote. Y'all, this is an interchange of encouragement. And sometimes we make a comment and it actually helps someone else. Okay? Don't you worry about that. Brenda, you enjoy your guests. Have a wonderful day. You know, too, if we forget to cheer other people on, and we kind of touched on this it was sometime in the last few weeks, cheering others on when they have a win or they have something to celebrate, it could be a wreath. It could. It could also be they got their craft room done. It could also be that they decided to learn how to bake bread while they had time and they made this amazing bread. Cheer people on. Little tiny accomplishments, little tiny things we do every day that we share with others. People should be cheering each other on, don't you think? Celebrate those things. You know, like that loaf of bread. How fun is that to have accomplished that thinking you never could? You had the time, you did it. We should celebrate that with you. And you could send us some, just saying. No. Oh, Kathleen, bless your heart. Being a caretaker can sometimes seem so overwhelming. First of all, I always pray about people that are caretakers because caretakers sometimes get left in the shadows, you know? And you're an important person, and bless you for doing that. And I'm sure your father, whether he tells you or not, appreciates every moment. Yay, Jan! Lori, you're moving. Oh, see, that's, you can tell you're rising. I know you don't like that, but you can tell you're at the top, and people don't expect you to be human and have time for yourself to get moved into your gorgeous new house and get it painted and all that. By the way, let me just say those pictures were awesome. I love It looks like grays, darker gray and lighter gray in the picture, but it looks beautiful compared to how it was prior. Who said that? Yeah, I ain't doing no jumping either, Francis. These knees couldn't take it anymore. Tom, you got it, buddy. Let me flip to the prayer page. There it is. Also, don't forget that we have a lot of friends who have been diagnosed with anxiety and depressive issues, not by us, but by medical professionals. And situations like what they see on TV, the virus being confined to home all the time, etc., add so much weight to them. Don't forget those friends, and don't forget to keep them in prayer, because they have a harder time. Those of us who by nature are not anxious or depressed need to remember that we are having a hard time. So those people who by nature do have anxiety or depression or other mental health conditions, imagine how difficult all this is on them. So let's be a cheerleader for them and positive for them. See, y'all, even Lori Franklin has issues. Has people that have great expectations and don't allow for grace. Even Lori. And I say even Lori because in a lot of our minds, Lori has achieved something that would seem impossible with everything she was going through at the time that she achieved. Remember too, your life, my life isn't about pleasing everybody. Not possible, not going to happen. If being you doesn't please people, they can move on, or you can move on. Choose and joy all the way, not allowing. Look, it's been said, and it's so true. Negativity will never give you a positive life. So get away from it. If you feel it, if you even doubt. You know, I've always told my kids, when in doubt, don't. So when you doubt something, step away, do your research, do your thinking process, whatever it is, then you'll know. Whether it's something you should or shouldn't do, should or shouldn't put out there into the universe, right? And keep shining. Shine your light so bright, you're going to blind the negative people with it. You never know. If you keep shining your light and being positive, you never know that you might help chip away at whatever in their life has caused them to be so negative. Or to think it's okay to be rude or ugly to someone, unwarranted. Maybe if enough of us are positive and quit feeding the, what's that? You know, the story about the Indian grandfather. The grandson says something about 2 wolves. Which one do you feed? Right? You can feed the negativity out there, y'all. But why? Why? Feed the positivity. Just say some nice little thing in there and move on. Yep, it sure does. Negativity breeds negativity. Hate breeds hate. Love breeds love. You know? Lori. This world right now needs more cheerleaders. Cheer people on. Give credit when it's due. Help make other hearts happy. Thank you, Shannon. Absolutely. Depression is real and can put us in such a dark place. Coffee with Dre can be a lifeline back to life. Aw, thank you, Carrie. Yeah, no, we have 2 roosters, and there's a lot more crowing going on because the alpha rooster isn't completely adult, and so he has this beautiful crow. And the younger one, Jesse says he sounds like a wind-up toy dying as he starts off and then So there's this back and forth competition. It cracks me up. Hey, Dre, just keep me in your thoughts and prayers because I'm so tired of these doctors not doing what I want them to do. I have cysts on my kidneys like hell. Real life, they don't... Oh, let's see. Can't get to see more to go. Okay, there it is. They don't hurt you on top of sciatic nerve problem, disc damages, both back and upper back. 52 years old, I should not be able to have this hip problem. Can you wonder why I yell at my doctors? Get something done. Done help me and put off. I am so sorry to hear that. That's awful, Lisa. I'm gonna, you know what? Maybe we can keep your doctor in our prayers as well. Here would be my advice. Get a different doctor. Or try it. Go get a second opinion and see if they're going to be willing to do something for you. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord and He will lift you up. Amen. Aw, thanks, Lila. I'll tell you, it is tough. I like socialization too, and it's been tough. Shauna. You know what, though? I'll bet you there's some... You know what? We'll get Jesse to tape you. They don't call it tape anymore. What do they call it? Record some rooster crowing and we'll get it to you. It's funny. Wow, Janet. Oh my gosh, that just gave me chills. Absolutely prayers. Oh. Still going to pray for the terminally ill child. You never know. A miracle could come along. Okay. Got it. Wow. You know, right when we think we got issues, we hear something like that, we need to pray for them and send positive vibes out for them and maybe not worry so much about us today, right? Aw, Cheryl. Aw. Well, that last crow you heard was the weak one. No, Shauna, you don't. Really? I thought you were kidding. Maybe at TDR we need to have Shauna doing her animal sounds every now and then. Oh, maybe there's something. That changes your perspective, doesn't it, guys? When you hear what's going on with others, it has nothing to do with what's going on in the world, but the daily struggles of life it puts things more in perspective for the rest of us as well. It reminds us, one, to be grateful for what we do have. Two, be thankful for those in our lives. And to live every moment for the better. I do talk a little bit about that in the book, but when I look back at my life and the things that I've gone through, which I'm like, who was that person? How'd she do that? But when I look back on things, in particular my kids, it wasn't these big, fireworks kind of moments that are the strongest in my memory bank. It's those little moments. The moment where my daughter brought me a handful of flowers she picked. That's a small little moment. Had I not been there in the moment, I would have missed it. And that would be a memory I would not have to bring me light, right? It's those little things. It's not money. It's not places. Well, it's not even things. It's those little moments that we have with one another, our friends, our family, our loved ones, our people, our acquaintances, the people, you guys, the people we know via technology. We get to create moments every day, and then we can weave those moments together, and those can kind of like, I don't know, envelop us and give us hope and give us comfort, and most importantly allows us to reach in that core of us and find that joy that helps us make it through all this madness. Don't miss the moments, y'all. Don't rob yourselves of the moments. Like a moment that, I'm going to use Lori. Why not? She's a big girl. They got their new house. She shared that moment when they were putting the key in the door, right? Minor thing, not a big deal, opening a door. But her and her husband will have that moment forever in their memories. And those are the ones we need to draw from right now. People around us are acting a fool. People in our families are acting a fool. Go back into your memory bank and think of something non-foolish that they did with you or in your lives. You know, people are having issues being alone at home with, whether it's their spouse or whomever. Look back at why you fell in love with them in the first place. It's a good time to pull up that memory, because that memory is going to help you today. And it'll put a smile on your face, laughter in your heart, and it'll make it better for them too. And maybe that day they won't be so grumpy. Lori, and that is what I love about you. Absolutely. And I wish people with or without money could understand that. Money is money. It's yes, it can buy you happy things. Yes, but does it make you a better person? And y'all know how I feel about her. Lori is a shining example of someone who has reached a dream that we all, nobody wouldn't mind stumbling into success like that. She didn't stumble. She worked hard. I'm just saying it in the sense that none of us would mind that necessarily. I don't want that. I don't want that much work. She works her ass off, y'all. I don't want to work that hard. I'm already working hard. But she's an example of that you can be successful and you can have money and things, but you can still be kind, loving, humble to everyday people who are still trying to reach their dream or working towards that dream. You hear that, rooster? Is that not sad? Dude! I don't know what that was. I did too, Bobby. It meant so much to me that Lori posted that picture of that moment in time that she could have reserved for just her and Dave, and I don't know. But she's a good example. So if you're looking for a good example of someone who has achieved success and remained amazing and remained approachable and remained silly and fun and all the things that we love about people, she didn't lose an ounce of that through her success. And she is who she is. She's very genuine. I want y'all to know that. So if you ever see something negative said about her, you let me know and I'll get it back. Okay? I'm reading Lisa's comment, you guys. Wow. Choose, remember. Oh, wow, Lisa. All I can do right now is keep you in my prayers. I really wish that you could get new doctors. It doesn't sound like they're hearing you and what you need. I know, Carrie. It's true. Practice does make perfect. Yes, Lori is our rock star. I choose joy, y'all. And I don't know if I could have come through all the things that Lori came through with the attitude that she has. It's amazing. I just love her. That's right. If you want it bad enough, you have to work. Look, there's no denying achieving a goal is a lot of work, especially if it's a big goal. So my suggestion on a goal would be break it down into manageable pieces. I want to sell, we'll use wreaths. I want to sell 5 wreaths a month. That first wreath of the month starts with 1 wreath a month. But I want to sell 50 wreaths a month. But start with something manageable, right? And work your way to that. You will be surprised how far you can come in how little time if you work really, really hard. And keep working. Oh, that's good, Lisa. Bless Dr. Garcia. All right, guys. Oh, I got to get going. First of all, I should remind you, Ranch House Craft Supplies, our 4th of July sale ends at noon today. That's like 1 hour from now. So if you're looking, wanting, needing, now's the time. Yes, we sold out on a lot of things this weekend, but there's still a lot of other things available. And we will be restocking, matter of fact, we're going to be restocking UITC items, ribbon mesh, and florals over the next 2-week period. So hang in there. That's right, Lori. Do it smart. Do it a little at a time. Baby steps is always the best. You learn the most. You know how babies are so unsteady, but they learn the most in that unsteadiness. You know, how to balance, etc. So, yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes, fabric. We have some fabric mesh in right now. I don't know what colors or anything, but I'll check. Pat. Oh my gosh. You guys, we need to add Pat. Give her some words of encouragement as well. Pat Nicholson. Yes, absolutely, we will be praying and sending positive vibes out your way. Thank you, Bobby. It's going to be a crazy day. Oh, love you too, Lori. More than you know. Hey, Dustin. I know, Pat. Oh, Pat. I am so sorry. I can't. I said it earlier. I can't imagine being in the hospital and not being able to have any of my loved ones nearby. I hope that you're finding some joy within our community. You definitely are on my prayer list for sure, for sure. Yes, my dear. And I hope the test results, I don't know what I hope they are, but I hope they're the results you want. That's what I hope. All right, guys. You all, thank you for your inspiration this morning. Thank you for hanging out. I needed y'all this morning as well to kind of get me kick-started for a very busy week. And we appreciate you. You can conquer that mountain. Remember, sometimes it really is just a molehill we can step over. We just have to step back, take a peek at it, work through it, call a friend, phone a friend, text a friend if you need some encouragement or reminder that you are a person of value and worth, and that what you say, think, and feel matters, and that you have power. And I don't want you, here we go, y'all, never give up your power. Yep, you've got it. The power to be you. The power to make your own decisions, your own choices. The power to lift yourself up if you need to be lifted. The power to turn away from negativity. The power to remove toxic people, places, things, shows, lives, posts, whatever it is. The power to move those toxic things out of your life. And you also have the power to always, always, always choose joy, y'all. Have a blessed day. Take care of yourself and watch out for others as well. Bye, y'all.